You know, I made this whole set and green screen thing, but I feel like I need a change of scenery. I wonder what I'll see beyond this little island anyway. Ah, much better. This place is just as empty. I was really hoping there would be a settlement, town, or colony. Speaking of colonies, I'm going to talk about how English developed through the colonies. Come on, we all know the story. Europeans spread across a good chunk of the world, turning English into a lingua franca, and in going to these locations, more than likely screwing up anything good they had going there. Alright, look, I'm making a generalization. I'm sure there are exceptions, but honestly, who clicks on poorly made Halo Machinima for an English language project and expect me to get everything right? Except maybe my professor. And not saying myself as a good resource, am I? In any case, I was sound to the colonial impact on English after listening to Wes Cecil's lecture, English, Language, and Literature. The link to it will be in the description. And he brought up the British influence on India, so I fixated on that. Now, when I was doing research, I had an issue trying to figure out which of Cecil's 16 philosophy questions would fit with colonialism. I finally figured out in number 4 how we govern. I went back over my textbook and my sources. In the lecture, he spoke about how the Soviet Union and America competed during the Cold War. Well, often the colonies were founded through competition with other countries. Competition is a huge driving force. So, why am I wandering? Well, I don't have competition, but most of the colonies that became the English-speaking world was found this way, by wandering. So this will mostly be about the countries found along the way and what was added to English. So let's start with America. To my knowledge, when it came to the indigenous peoples, there were movements to force them to speak English. We gained some words, but other than that, nothing of note that I could really find. As I said, I am unreliable, and this is my 4th final project in a row. I'm so stressed, my old red character face turned blue, and not because this game doesn't have red. But that's not the point. What was interesting is that once America gained independence, many of the changes to our spelling was out of spite to further break from England. Some even called for our own language. But I guess indigenous languages were not good enough. From there, accents grew and adjusted due to geography, immigrants, class, and we ended up with a good variety in one country. The Caribbean. Wait, this is new. The Caribbean islands were mostly changed with the African slaves growing into Creole. Canada, from what I read, is much like America except French. I will try not to enter another French rant. I know English isn't perfect, but what the Australia. The scariest place I would love to visit. One of 2 places that had an unironic war with birds. Then again, some of them are scary. So, Australia began as a penal colony, gained some settlers. European whalers settled around New Zealand, linked up with the other parts of Australia. Christian missionaries came in and this time did not go conquistador on them. Or they did, and my book skipped that. But here I begin to notice a pattern that English is fairly standardized now, to the point where I don't think there is much change aside from the localized dialect and accents, which to me necessitate enough of a change for me to freak out about it. Oh geez, another game change. Oh well, this actually takes place in Africa, which is why I chose it. South Africa was one of the areas that made English the language of law there. They received a mix of British English, Dutch, and African languages there. Some had more of a mix than others, but it seems that area in particular was crazy diverse in language. There was decent education and missions there. While I'm here, I'll go to West Africa. Here, English most certainly became the lingua franca. I would argue it has turned into that already at this point in the video, but here at least the textbook just comes out and says it, so that's what I will follow. The British tried to set up anti-slavery positions here. Good on them. And so they received several dialects of people coming through to help or be sent through the system. Pidgin Creole coming up often. Oh no. Oh no, I'm going back to the other game. I feel it. My face is gonna be blue again. Alright. Well, meanwhile, South Asia was problematic. Mainly India. This time, instead of missionaries and explorers, we got merchants. I mean, part of the reason Europe were colonizing so hard was to find India. The British East India Company actually tried to keep other countries, mostly France, out of there. But English was taught to the higher educated of the country, turning English in India a language of the upper class. Oh, great. These don't work. So, Southeast Asia, meanwhile, dealt with missionaries and merchants. Originally, not many wanted to learn, but English became more useful, so if you wanted to go up the social ladder, learning English was a way to do it. And money is a good motivator. So, we end here, at the Pacific Ocean. Or as close to it as this can be. I mean, this is on a strange alien ring world, but this is also just a video game. Anyway, the South Pacific faced a very similar fate as West Africa. English became common. You know, all this boiled down to just saying, oh yeah, English took over here. I was expecting some big revelation or something, but it seemed like for those who lived through imperialism, they had to learn English or fall behind. Most of the British didn't want to learn their language. Heck, in America, we didn't even want to learn another language when we said we wanted to. Maybe that is the main takeaway. Wherever English went, it dominated. If it was just chance with something else, it doesn't matter. English was the language that successfully expanded, like it or not. Because it dominated, there couldn't be a big change to English itself. By its dominating nature, it affected everything else instead. It might be as simple as that.